Before I start this video, I want to give a shout out to probably one of my new favorite bands, Celestial Rain. They're some really talented dudes, and I was fortunate enough to really connect with their singer and drummer, Alex and Dom. They're like a mix of pop punk and prog and emo. It's really cool and it's really interesting. If you've ever wondered what early Muse and later stage Blink-182 sounded like, listen to Celestial Rain. They've been watching and supporting my channel, so I wanted to give a big shout out to them. Just spread the word on their band. They got a Spotify, they got an Instagram. I'll link both of those down below. My personal favorite track by them is Backwards.
Backwards, why is it so backwards in your hand? Where it all falls and
So check out Celestial Rain after this video.
Watch this video first.
Okay?
And now, our feature presentation.
Green Day is one of the biggest pop punk bands of all time.
Scratch that.
Green Day is one of the biggest bands of all time. Period.
Period.
Everyone knows Green Day, whether you're a punk fan or not. Songs like Holiday and Good Riddance are radio staples. Our grandchildren will be listening to Green Day. I know mine will.
I'll make sure of that.
They're one of my favorite bands. And if you're watching this channel, then I'm pretty sure they're one of your favorite bands too. But we're not talking about Green Day today. Well, not technically. Today, we're talking about Green Day side projects.
Fuck this shit.
Hello and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Trevor and I am eternally uncool. I make videos about music, music culture, and anything that interests me, but mostly music right now. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, then I highly recommend subscribing to the channel and watching the rest of this video. Not too long ago, I made a video about Blink-182 side projects. That video was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed making it, so I figured I'd do the same for Green Day. For those of you who might not be aware, Green Day, like Blink-182, has a fair amount of side projects. Most of them consisting of all three members of Green Day and a rotating cast of their buddies. Musicians form these side projects because they want to get music out there that isn't really in line with the sound of their regular band. And a lot of Green Day's side projects don't necessarily fit the sound of Green Day. I mean, some do, but not all of them. Green Day has some pretty interesting side projects. They range from chaotic electronica to raw punk to dad rock. Today, I want to rank those projects and see which one is the best. Keep in mind, this is all my own personal opinion. If you don't like my rankings, then leave yours in the comments. But be cool about it. With all that being said, grab a drink, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get into the video.
Okay, we started a cover band, and we're called the Coverups.
The Coverups are a cover band formed by Billy Joe Armstrong and Mike Dirnt in 2018. The rest of the band consists of Green Day touring guitarist Jason White, audio engineer Chris Dugan, Green Day's tour manager and former guitar tech Bill Schneider, and Bill's brother Greg. This band hasn't formally recorded anything, they don't have any albums or EPs, and they've never toured. It's just kind of a fun little band for the guys to do in their spare time. They do one-offs and surprise shows every once in a while. In 2023, they did a charity show benefiting chimpanzees.
So that's pretty cool.
They're not bad, not by any stretch of the imagination. They're just like a cover band. They have some really decent covers of songs like Paint It Black and Ain't Talking About Love, but like I said, they haven't really released anything. If they did, then they'd probably be higher up on this list.
Hey, a little more, man. Hey, there you go.
Does somebody want to give me a beer and a shot of weed, please?
The Frustrators are a punk rock band formed in 1999 in New England, consisting of Mike Dirnt on bass, Jason Chandler on vocals, Terry Linehan on guitar, and Art Tedeschi on drums. They're currently signed to Billy Joe Armstrong's Adeline Records, and have released 2 EPs and 1 album. The Frustrators are pretty cool. They kind of sound like 39 Smooth era Green Day. It's a lot more raw and a lot less polished and produced than a lot of what Green Day was releasing around this time. They're like a pure punk band, which I'm sure is what Mike Dirnt really wanted to do, like get back to his roots after being in one of the most successful rock bands of the 90s. Their 2002 album, Achtung Jackass, which, if you didn't know, the title is a send-up of the classic U2 album, Achtung Baby. And it's a pretty decent record. Songs like Stupid really stood out to me when I was doing my research for this video. This is definitely music that if I heard it when I was a lot younger, I would have been really into it. Like, the band's name would have been scrawled all over my science notebook. But while the Frustrators are a quality punk band with some really decent tunes, I just don't think they hold a candle to any of the other bands that are coming up on this list. Some of the other bands are just, well, you'll see.
We're gonna figure this out. We are Pinhead Gunpowder. Let's go.
Pinhead Gunpowder is Green Day's oldest side project, being formed in 1991, a mere 5 years after Green Day themselves formed. This band consists of Billy Joe Armstrong on vocals and guitar, as well as famed zine writer Aaron Cometbus on drums. He was also the group's primary lyricist. Green Day touring guitarist Jason White on, you guessed it,
Guitar.
and Bill Schneider on bass. While the band's name might seem random, it actually has a lot of meaning. Kind of. You see, Aaron Cometbus was dumpster diving one day, something he apparently did quite often. And he came across this brand of high-octane green tea, which I assume was called Pinhead Gunpowder. And I guess he thought,
That'd make a great band name.
I guess this isn't technically a Green Day side project, since it was founded by Aaron Cometbus and Billy Joe just merely serves as a vocalist, but I'm still gonna count it. Pinhead Gunpowder is a really good punk band. They take influence from Ramones, Generation X, and Replacements, but also bands like Cheap Trick, who are more power pop, and folk singer-songwriter Joni Mitchell. It really creates this kind of eclectic, raw punk sound that has power pop vibes, as well as some really interesting songwriting choices.
Yeah, we say making changes starts in the little things you do. Revolution begins at home, but for most of us it ends in doing something great, making changes like changing the brand of crap we buy. We say it makes a difference, but that's just another lie.
It's fast, snotty punk with power pop melodies. If you're a Green Day fan, you'll definitely be into this.
But
Despite the classic punk sound and the great songwriting, I don't think this is the best Green Day side project. I'm sorry. It's great, but I think there's other projects that really show what Green Day can do in terms of branching out. Segway. I talked about the network in another Green Day video that I will link in the description below, but I don't think I went too deep into who the network is there. So I'll give you a little bit more background now. The network is a new wave band formed in the summer of 2003 by vocalist Fink, bass player Van Gogh, drummer Snoo, keyboardist Z, guitarist Captain Underpants, and rhythm guitarist Balducci. Now, obviously, these are not real people. These are characters created by Green Day and their buddies. This was just a secret side project that the band was doing. This is a really cool project because it's so removed from what we know Green Day for. Green Day in 2003 was the biggest pop punk band of the 90s. They hadn't released American Idiot yet, so they weren't like these gigantic rock gods yet. The network really showed a more experimental side of them. I love the mix of new wave and synths, but the energy of punk rock is still there. The network really lets the creativity of all of its members really shine. You have these musicians putting on costumes and creating lore for this band that made electronic synth music, and you would have never thought that it was the same guys who made Dookie. It's just so unique and so different. The network is one of Green Day's best side projects on premise alone. But the music is also great too. If you like Green Day, but you also like weird electro dance punk, you'll like the network.
Well, let's dance, you fucking motherfuckers.
I remember liking the Longshot when they first came out. The group was formed in 2018 at the end of Green Day's Revolution Radio tour. He was joined by longtime Green Day touring guitarist, not Jason White, but Jeff Matika, who didn't play guitar in this project and instead chose to play bass. Guitar would be handled by Armstrong himself, as well as Kevin Preston. The lineup would be rounded out by drummer David S. Field. And later in 2018, the band would release their debut EP, The Longshot. You know what, now that I think about it, most of their output was in 2018. Guess 2018 was the year of The Longshot. I first took notice of them when they released their debut album, Love Is For Losers, and the album's title track. I loved this song when it came out. It had a real Revolution Radio vibe to it, but it also had a garage rock vibe to it. It was kinda retro, and I liked that. Even though The Longshot only released one EP and one album in 2018 and didn't do much afterwards, I still feel like this is one of Green Day's best side projects. It almost feels like an extension of what Billy Joe was doing creatively at this time. I really hope they do more in the coming years. But if you like Green Day, then I highly recommend giving The Longshot a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Foxboro Hot Tubs.
Foxboro Hot Tubs is another Green Day side project that I feel like a lot of Green Day fans already know about. It's funny that the two bands where Green Day hid their identities are the two most famous ones. Foxboro Hot Tubs are a garage rock band that consists of Green Day, Jason White, and current Foo Fighters drummer Jason Freeze. They all go under names like Reverend Strike 9 Twitch, Frosco Lee, The Professor. Foxboro Hot Tubs and their sole album, 2008's Stop, Drop, and Roll, is kind of like a precursor to Father of All, with its high-energy garage rock revival, mixed with the kind of pop-punk we already knew Green Day for. Seriously, this album is full of incredible garage rock tunes. Don't get me wrong, it has Green Day written all over it. It's not like the network where it's almost like a completely different band. Foxboro Hot Tubs is just like Green Day making a Green Day album they couldn't make as Green Day. Does that make sense?
No!
What I'm trying to say is this is one of the most Green Day bands that isn't Green Day. But there are some songs that sound sonically different and do experiment a little bit. I think I like this one so much because it sounds like Green Day. This album came out around a time when Green Day wasn't as experimental as they are now. It really showed a different side to them that was still somewhat familiar to listeners. It's a perfect example of how Green Day can be more than just a pop punk band, and a good glimpse into the future. What do you think? Do you agree with my rankings? Do you not agree? Did I miss anything? I feel like I left something out, but I don't know. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then I highly recommend smashing that like button and sharing this video with everyone you know. I am a small, independent content creator who does pretty much everything on his own. So every like, every comment, every share, any interaction with this video at all really does a lot to get it pushed out to more people who might be interested in what I'm doing and want to subscribe to the channel. With all that being said, thank you for watching. As always, I'm Trevor. Stay uncool. And that's the end of the video. Goodbye.